Hello. I want to talk to you about three things. First of all, Stephen Harper, in a Sault Ste. Marie speech to the party faithful, said that he feared a coalition. I have to tell you, he is the coalition. In order to stay in power, he has become the very thing he says he fears most, the coalition of the Socialists, the NDP, and the Separatist Bloc Québécois, and the Liberals. He has, in effect, surrendered to them all, because he has to do what they want to stay in power, and he does. Secondly, there are some people who tell us we should wait for Stephen Harper to get a majority. And I have an answer for that, maybe a question. What's the price of this victory that you want for a majority? First of all, you have to see your Prime Minister compromise time after time and give the NDP everything they want along the road to power. And then, once in power, I know, that Ontario and Quebec could pull the rug out from under him at any moment. The result being, he doesn't really have power. As long as he's the Prime Minister in Ottawa, he does what Ontario and Quebec wants. He bails out the auto industry with billions and billions of Western resource dollars, and you and I in Western Canada have nothing to say about it. And finally, we see the Wild Rose Alliance coming to the fore in Alberta, just like the Western Canada concept did in 1980. Isn't that wonderful, you say, that worn-out old parties are going to give way to something vital, new, and different in Western Canada? Well, let me tell you, unless the Wild Rose Alliance stands for independence, it's repeating the same old pattern that Peter Lougheed repeated in the 60s, and that the Conservatives under Ralph Klein repeated in the 80s and 90s. In effect, it's the same old trick 30 years later. It goes nowhere. It's a revolution, which is the bottom goes to the top and the top goes to the bottom, but nothing changes. Like the wheel, it goes round and round. The end result, Western Canada continues to pay to the bankrupt robbers in Ottawa. And there is no solution in such a behavior. It is not a solution to repeat the same mistakes of the past and expect a different solution. That's a recipe for insanity. We need independence. We need independence so Western Canada can have the benefit of all its resources, can control its destiny, can determine what happens to its tax dollars, can decide on its foreign policy, can build its own roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, and other social services, can pay its own pensions with its own resource wealth. When that happens, we'll have a stable government, a free government, with one language and one culture that will gradually develop over time. We will not need to invite the whole of the world to live here. This will be our land, and it will be strong, stable, and truly free, unlike Canada. Free the West.